साल की शुरुआत
हेलो
Yes, yes, sir. Please be on.
So very good morning to one and all.
Good morning, sir.
First and foremost, this is my maiden stint with the JB Nagar Study Circle, and I was fortunate enough to view the proceedings of the AGM also. I had attended the AGM of our study circle at Ahmedabad too. But the cordial atmosphere and the presence which I observed today, it is phenomenal, and that too in the Sunday morning time, which is a leisure time, I think. So once again, thank you so much, JB Nagar Study Circle, convener sir, Luda sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. First and foremost, that since the AGM is over and now we are again sitting for the study on the subject, which is again, in my considered opinion, is a yearly ritual. So those who will be present or who are present here, seems they are fortunate enough that they have got the statutory bank branch audit, it seems. How many of us are sitting, how many of us sitting here have got the bank branch audit this time? Allotment has come, sir. Bank of Maharashtra has given only 8th April for the completion of bank branch audit. So the thing is that hardly few members have got the bank branch audit this year. But the wonderful part is that even if the bank branch audit is not allotted, but the members are sitting here to understand the subject, that is again a wonderful and something new to me also. So when Pinky Kedia madam telephoned me and invited me, at that time only I had suggested that now how many members will come for this bank branch audit seminar? Because as we all know, the opportunity so far as the bank branch audit is concerned, it is reducing and it is reducing or shrinking at so fast pace. That will be the new normal actually, because in my considered opinion, I don't see much future left or much opportunities left so far as this area is concerned. And the topic allotted to me is the IRAC norm, which is the heart of, as we all know, because our fees are also dependent on the advances. And the IRAC classification, that is very, very important. But before jumping to the subject, would like to take another 2-3 minutes, since I am privy of some of the information, and then because my core area is the bank branch audit and that too statutory audit, bank branch as well as the central audit. I started my career with the as a team member of the Central Statutory Audit for Bank of Maharashtra way back in 1996. Then I did during that tenure only, I became chartered accountant, and then as a central auditor to Allahabad Bank, then to engagement partner as Canara Bank, then to State Bank of India, and now again we are appointed for Bank of Maharashtra. I am representing Manubhain Shah LLP from Ahmedabad. Since my articleship days, since 1993, I am with them. And since my core area, as I said, that it is bank branch audit, the only thing is that the IBA and the banks, public sector banks more particularly, because in private sector banks, there is no concept of branch audit. But in public sector bank, the feeling is that there is no value addition so far as the bank branch audit is concerned from the auditors. And second thing, with this digitization, now everything is on the CBS platform. Everything is in this computer only. There is no question of any manual intervention anywhere. So what is the point if the second largest bank after State Bank of India in banking system like ICICI or HDFC, if they get their accounts audited by with the help of two central statutory auditors who are sitting at the central office, head office of the bank, and with that level of digitization now in the public sector banks also. So what is the point of incurring this much expenditure so far as the audit fees or traveling reimbursement is concerned? This process has started way back since last 5 years. But with the new requirement for allotment of bank branch audit, from 24-25, Reserve Bank of India has left to the judgment of the management to decide how much quantum of the business they want to get it under the audit. The only thing in my considered opinion is that's the reason I'm thinking that I am of the opinion, and all of us will also agree, that there is no future left unless and until any value addition is there from our side. So with this, I will start my deliberations on the subject which is allotted to me. Though I have prepared that IRAC norms presentation, but I would like to express my opinion, because whatever is there in the presentation, everybody can read, and I understand that it is of no use. So I would like to discuss and deliberate some of the practical aspects related to IRAC norms which may have effect or which have the effect on the quality of the bank branch audit. So that's the reason I'm not presenting here. I'll definitely send the mail to the JB Nagar Study Circle. But the point here is that since I discussed that the bank branch audit statutory, so far as the statutory audit is concerned, since it is a yearly ritual, we are not keeping ourselves updated so far as any regulatory change happens in the banking industry during the year. Unlike what we are doing we are keeping ourselves updated for the other relevant topics, GST, direct tax, obviously, because there is we are associated with those activities. And since this is a yearly exercise, we are not keeping ourselves updated. So far as the NPN norms are concerned, that 90 days delinquency norms, it is settled now that in case of term loan, if the interest and or interest remain overdue for more than 90 days, for 90 days, the account will slip to NPA. For case credit and overdraft, the concept of out of order is there. What is out of order? Out of order means if the account, case credit or overdraft account remains continuously, sorry, if in case of case credit or overdraft, if the outstanding remains continuously in excess of sanction or drawing power, whichever is lower, for a period of 90 days, the account will be considered as out of order. And second condition is that even if the account outstanding is within the limit of the sanction or drawing power, but if there are no credits or credit is not sufficient to cover the interest charged during the 90 days time, irrespective of the fact that account is within the limit, the account will slip to NPA. So far as the agriculture advances are concerned, would not like to go into the greater details. Why? Because there are two aspects of it. One is, since we are in the metro city, that is Mumbai, hardly will get the agriculture branch, wherein the agriculture finance is there. And second, which I should have told first, that since so far as the IRAC norms related to agriculture finance is concerned, I am of my considered view that it is very difficult to understand, in the sense that agriculture being the area which we all know that because of the natural calamities or any other forbearance by Reserve Bank of India, right? But in case of but I will give the definition actually, that in case of short crop loan, if the account remains continuously in excess of limit for 2 crop season, the account will be classified as NPA. And in case of long crop, it is 1 season. But the point is that since all the state governments have their SLBCs, who will decide what is the short crop and what is the long crop, what is Rabi Pak and Kharif Pak. And one more issue is about that is what I discussed about the forbearance due to natural calamities. So it is that complex conditions for the classifying any account or any agriculture account as the NPA. We'll have to definitely refer to the book or the master circular for that matter, our guidance note or the master circular. So far as the derivatives or any investments are concerned, since it is not dealt with at the branch level, definitely will not discuss that. But would like to discuss about some of the practical aspects that, as we all know, that since the banks are coming up with the new innovative products so far as the lending is concerned, be it in the nature of, if I give you the example that if historically the case credit or overdraft is only for the business purpose. But however, since with this new era, the case credit or overdraft facilities are sanctioned for the other purpose other than the business purpose also. For example, since we are a chartered accountant, we can very well avail the loan against our office premises or residence. The facility is in the nature of case credit also. The point here is that there is no drawing power concept. However, the drop-down OD facilities are there. Suppose we are sanctioned 1 crore rupees against the mortgage of our property, then drop-down OD facility is there. If the tenor of the loan is 100 months, right, then every month we are obliged to reduce our outstanding by 1 lakh rupee. In the first month, it is 1 crore. In the second month, it is 99 lakhs, 98 lakhs, 97 lakhs, so on and so forth. We'll have to reduce by 1 lakh rupee. Here, the question is that we are not the businessmen. We are the service provider. We are into the service industries. And I have taken that loan. मेरा paper घर पे रहे उससे अच्छा है बैंक में रहे. And if I during this period, if I need it for any specific purpose, I can utilize it. The end use of this loan is not to be viewed actually. I mean, to be considered. So here my question is that if since the principal account is my principal account is not the facility or the case credit or OD, that loan against the property. I have availed 1 crore rupees and the checkbook facility is given. I utilize 20 lakhs of rupees. For example, my outstanding should have been, suppose, that 95 lakhs rupees. But as on the date, my outstanding is 75 lakhs of rupees. And since this is not my principal account, my regular income or expenditure that I am incurring from my current or saving account. So definitely the out of order condition, if I don't pay the interest for next 3 months on this 20 lakhs rupees, which I have utilized, my account will slip to NPA because of the definition para 2.1.2 master circular. For the year 24-25, again we discussed that there is no change in the 90 days delinquency norms. This is previous year. But for this year, 24-25, which we will be doing in this week only, probably the next week only, there is no master circular dated 2nd April 2025 will be applicable for this. So under these circumstances, that if I am a borrower, I am not a chartered accountant, I am not auditor. I am a borrower. There is no fault from my side if I don't utilize the remaining portion or if I don't pay the interest. Though the obligation is there to pay the interest. So under the circumstances, by merely affixing NPA on anybody's account, right, it has the far-reaching impact. आज अगर कोई हमारा account 20 lakhs का NPA कर दे, we are a chartered accountant or a doctor or engineer, right? In that case, Since we are chartered accountant, we know about this. But if I am a doctor or if I am an engineer, in that case, by stamping anyone's account, it has the consequences actually. It's very tough. But the point is, since we are auditor, we have to go by we are guided by the directions of the Reserve Bank of India, obviously. So under the circumstances, going by the same example, if the account is within the limit also, my obligation is to pay the interest. My credit should be, there is no concept of paying the interest. I'm sorry. Because in case credit, the concept is of out of order, because historically the transaction is there, is turning, income is coming, and the expenditure are also incurred from that account only. Secondly, we must have given the only I was discussing at the Nagpur, I was doing one of the branch. So what is that facility? That if the triple B, if I'm MSME, for example, and I have rendered service, delivered goods, I'm a supplier to a corporate house, right? This is to facilitate the MSME sector more particularly. And to whom I am supplying the good is having the good credit rating, that is investment credit rating. They can participate in the bill discounting platform. So my arrangement with to whom I am supplying the goods, the understanding is that I will be paid in 90 days time. Due date is 90 days from the acceptance of the bill. There is a platform. I'll go to the platform. I will request to discount my particular bill to that corporate house or to the entity to whom I have supplied the material or rendered the services. They will discount the bill definitely. Under normal circumstances, historically, what happened that instead of physically in this is the digital platform only. Now the point is that I am MSME and I am utilizing my working capital facility from one bank, say Punjab National Bank. And on the platform, I am going to discount my one bill. And the participating bank is, say, for example, State Bank of India or Yes Bank, whatever, other than the Punjab National. So in my books, that corporate house to whom I have supplied the material or rendered the service, XYZ Limited, in my books, he is my debtor, right? And in their books, I am their creditor. In submission of stock statement, right, to the Punjab National Bank, for example, I'm for the next month, when I will submit the stock statement or book date statement to that Punjab National Bank, right, my obligation is to reduce that debtor from my stock statement as a borrower. Why? Because the bill is discounted and I have received the money, right? So in all probability, there is a 100%, I am sure, there is a chance that may become the double financing on that particular account. Under the circumstances, as a branch auditor, what is my responsibility? So what is value addition in this case? Suppose if I come across any case, because I came across any case, this type of case yesterday only, since I was there at the branch. So the point is that expectation again, that there is no value addition. This is a value addition that I shall have to write, though not related to any particular account. In case of bill discounting under this digital, second question is about the security part of it. Whether this bill discounting will be considered as secured finance for the bank or unsecured finance for the bank. It is unsecured. Yesterday, unsecured. No. That's the reason. I'm enjoying that facility from Punjab National Bank. I have delivered the goods to the XYZ Limited. For me, he is debtor. In my stock statement and book debt statement to Punjab National Bank, right, that XYZ Limited will be debtor. And here on this platform, I am discounting that bill. So the money which I was to get after 90 days, I am getting it today. And for next 3 months, because now the obligation is on the XYZ Limited to pay on the due date to the platform on whom I have discounted my bills. No, it is not against debtor. That's the reason. The challenge is here only, madam. The issue is about the interpretation part of it, because that stock and book debt of XYZ Limited is hypothecated to Punjab National Bank. It is hypothecated. It can never be otherwise. It can never be otherwise. In digital platform, there is no hypothecation as such. So we agree to disagree on that part with the bank, and I have escalated it to the other forum also. Now the point is that there are designated branches of the bank who are dealing with this type of finances. It is not with all the branches. It is with the designated branches. That we saw that bill discounting of say 85 crore. And the facility is sanctioned to this XYZ, whatever, ABC, corporates or non-corporates having the good credit rating, that is investment, something on a BBB and above. Right? So under the circumstances, the question is not about the 90 days delinquency, it is settled. Question is about the interpretation part of it. Is there any mechanism to know that from Yes Bank I have discounted the bill, from Punjab National Bank I am enjoying the credit facility? Is there any mechanism in the banking sector per se? Answer is no. So unless and until, where is value addition? This is value addition. That I should write in my report that in this type of product of the bank, one more product I'll tell you, or you must be aware about it also. Anybody is dealing with the Bank of Baroda, or anyone has availed the bank loan or home loan from the Bank of Baroda. Bank of Baroda has one product, right, which now other banks have also started following the suit. What is the beauty of the product is that I have availed home loan at the rate of 7.5% or 8%, whatever the agreed upon terms between me and the banker. That is 1 crore rupees again. Any particular day in my saving account, if the balance is of say 10 lakhs rupees, any particular day, or 5 lakhs rupees, to the extent there is a balance in the saving account, the interest on my outstanding on this home loan, right, will be charged after reducing this saving account balance. For example, 5 lakhs is the balance for a day. So my interest will be on 95 lakhs rupees only. On the other hand, I will not get the interest from this on that saving account balance. But what is the rationale for this? To a financer, to a bank, I did raise that question. The only point is to attract the customer. But to attract the customer, if I am incurring loss, that is a part of my policy. Because on the one hand, I'll get at the rate of 7.5 or 8%. And on the other hand, I am incurring 3.5 to 3.45 or 4% on saving account. We must write this. This is the expectation from us, which in otherwise in the banking sector, it seems that the auditors are not adding the value to this.
You are not expected to report, but we are reporting that we know, yes, it is wrong.
Absolutely, sir.
Sir, but if you go legally, no, I'm not required. But then we being a chartered, we are supposed to say what is wrong.
But in that case, sir, in the last paragraph of LFAR, for the anybody who has done the branch audit must be aware about it. No, in last paragraph, it is mentioned that in your considered opinion, whether any issue is there which requires the attention of center statutory auditor or the top management of the bank, in that case, we should write. Question is not about the second point is that, sir, anyway, during the year, we are associated with the bank in many ways. as a customer, as a borrower, as a stock auditor, as a concurrent auditor, as a forensic auditor, credit audit, whatever it is, right? But during this time of 6 or 7 or 10 days allotted to us to complete the particular branch or 2 branch, maximum number of branches they are giving is now 2. That is reduced to 2 now. But average is, I think, less than 2 because the members are getting 1 branch also. The only point is that this is expected, that the team which I am caring for the audit must understand the basic terminology used at the bank. When we receive the appointment letter, what the first question we are asking? Advance kitna hai? Because our fees are related to the advance, right? We seldom bother to inquire about what is the business of the branch, what is the business mix of the branch. If this is the advance branch, where is the concentration of advance? Whether it is retail branch, whether it is SME branch, whether it is agriculture branch, whether it is P segment branch, mid corporate, large corporate, what is this? So accordingly, because if we are aware about this, we have the right and we must ask about the quantum of advance. That is fine. But at the same time, we should inquire, we should give 10 minutes time to over a telephone to understand the basic business being done at the. And second thing, this Generation Z, our team, right? It is possible that they have even not visited the bank. My son is a 22-year-old, right? He's also a chartered accountant. He became chartered accountant at first attempt, but he has not visited the bank because everything is on the mobile and the computer. Those were the days for even for case withdrawal also there is no need. This Gen Z is not using the case at all. He will not have the case in his pocket. Their ATM is there, right? They are into the digital. They don't know what is the difference between what is the fund-based advances, what is the non-fund-based advances, what is the difference between case credit and overdraft, what is the difference between CCOD and term loan. They don't know what is the non-fund-based advances in the nature of either LC, what is inland LC, what is foreign LC. What is bill discounting? What is bank guarantee? What is the difference between performance guarantee and financial guarantee? They are not aware about it. The only thing is, and since this is not the regular exercise, right? Every year our team also gets changed. Article का transfer हो गया, articleship खत्म हो गई, chartered accountant है तो उसका job कहीं और का चला गया, like that. We are also not keeping ourselves. I am also not keeping myself updated. ये तो लेक्चर होते हैं तो 12 महीने में ये मार्च महीना बोलने जाते हैं ना, ये तो ऑडिट आया तो फिर नाउ अगेन आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट ऑफ 5 years अगेन नाउ इनटू द ocean. The point here is that before going to the bank we must have that basic understanding. My team must have this basic understanding, and this is not a rocket science, and for them it's a regular business. If you are expert in the GST, if anybody asks any question or even over a telephone, we are in a position to reply that. For that matter, even income tax also or indirect tax or whatever, audit, index, whatever. The basic planning that is very important and understanding of the business is very important. What is drawing power? लेकिन हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि वो 3 महीने का ड्राइंग वाले सर 3 महीने का स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट में बैंक में बैठा था ना, उसी टाइम वो नॉन कॉर्पोरेट बोरोवर आके दे के गया और इन्होंने इसमें पंच किया. Does it make any difference practically to us? Our responsibility is, yes, that is an efficiency, that if he is giving 3 months stock statement together, that is fine. We should write in LFAR. It will not have any material impact on the financial statement of the branch we are doing. The point here is that the calculation of drawing power is important. What is drawing power? That is nothing but the difference between current asset and current liability, right? And drawing power is calculated on the basis of paid stock as well as the debtors of a certain age. Ideally, it is 90 days. In case of extraordinary business or infra business, it is up to 180 days also banks are sanctioning. The point here is that my drawing power is based on the paid stock. Then what is paid stock? Whether the sundry creditors against my stock, right, should have been reduced from the to arrive at the calculation of DP or not. It's very clear. And any advance, if any received from the debtors, any advance received from the debtors should also be deducted. And then after reducing the margin as per stipulated in the terms and conditions of the sanction terms, right, one should arrive at the drawing power. The point is that many of the banks have the system that whatever is the sundry creditors envisaged at the time of assessment of working capital, they will remain stagnant. For example, at the time of assessment of my working capital, once as a borrower, I am approaching the bank and my working capital assessment is done. And 10 rupees is the sundry creditors at that point of time. Right? They will remain stagnant. After the sanction,
Impossible.
yes, after the sanction, this is the policy, sir, in public sector banks. Now the point here is that during the month or during the tenure, generally case credit is payable on demand, but it is never paid. Renew, enhancement, takeover or NPA. और बिजनेस अगर बंद करे तो कभी देखा है कोई केस क्रेडिट बंद हुआ वैसा? General circumstances नहीं, take on over by another bank. The point here is that if for the particular month my sundry creditors in a statement is 12 rupees and my stock is 100 rupees, ideally the paid stock is 88 rupees. But since the policy of the bank is that whatever is envisaged at the time of assessment of the working capital will remain stagnant. So not 12 rupees will be deducted from 100 rupees. Only 2 rupees will be deducted from 100 rupees. Even for that matter, if the sundry creditor is 8, in that case, on 100 rupees only the drawing power will be calculated as per the policy of the bank, which is absolutely against the concept of drawing power. So my argument is, or my submission is, as a chartered accountant, what is expected of me is that I should write that this is the wrong policy. That if this treatment is given to the sundry creditors, the same treatment should be given to the stock as well as the sundry debtors envisaged at the time of assessment of working capital. Where is the logic otherwise? We must write this. This is expected of us. It will have the far-reaching impact on the quality of the audit, and that is expected. The understanding, for example, I will give another example. That during COVID-19 package, we all know, right, that COVID relief package, wherein the additional finance was given, 20%, GECL, 20%, 30%, and 3 lakh crore was the target. So at that point of time, I was the branch auditor to some of the public sector banks. Then I raised this issue that if I am enjoying 1 lakh rupee today, as on that particular date, my account is not NPA, my account is standard, right? And I am given 20,000 rupees for additional finance in line of that COVID package, COVID relief package. So point here is, at that point of time, I should have asked this question, that in security-wise classification, this 1 lakh rupee will be secured by tangible asset. And this 20,000 rupees should have been under the 3 type of security classification is there. Secured by tangible asset, government guaranteed ECGC covered, and DICGC, earlier it was DICGC, and then unsecured. This 1 lakh rupees should have been under this secured by tangible asset, and 20,000 should have been under the secured by government guarantee, right? But what in the package, if we read in the guidelines or the directives, it was specifically mentioned that there is no need to extend the collateral security, right? लोन लेने के टाइम पे तो मैंने भी साइन कर दिया जो भी कुछ है. And banks are showing the same as the secured by tangible asset. What is the difference? अगर किसी को ऐसा लगे कि what is the difference? The difference here is that even if my advance is secured by the under the tangible asset security, it carries certain risk factor, certain percentage of risk weightage. And if the central government guaranteed account, it carries 0% risk weight. It will have the effect on the capital adequacy of the branch and then in turn to the bank. I raised that issue. At that time, I was a branch auditor. But since I did the central audit of the bank, then I immediately inquired with the central auditor. They changed it. Now, the question is 24-25. The point is, yes, what is the implication of it? Because as on that cutoff date of 31st January 21, right, if my outstanding is 1 lakh rupees, and for this additional advance of 20,000 or 30,000, right, the maximum moratorium was permitted up to 24 months. So meaning thereby that if I am given 20,000, 20,000 is not 20,000 is just the hypothetical means hypothetically figure only. The quantum is huge. Now the problem will start because when the repayment will start, right? So from 23-24 and for 24-25, if by any chance either my principal account or my this central government guaranteed additional finance slips to NPA, if the health deteriorates, whether we will classify the 20,000 rupees account as non-performing asset. What is the definition of non-performing asset? 90 days delinquency. What is the exception to this? That if any central government guaranteed account is there, right, it need not be classified as NPA, even though the 90 days delinquency is breached. Now, due to COVID, but lakhs of accounts have availed this facility. So by any chance, my 1 lakh rupee account, that is principal account, and this additional finance, either of the account slips to NPA during this tenure. Should I classify my 20,000 rupees account as NPA? If we go by the master circular, the clarification which is required is that on the one side, it is mentioned that asset classification should have been borrower wise and not the facility wise. I am enjoying cash credit and I am enjoying vehicle finance also from the same. If any of the accounts slips to NPA, irrespective of the fact that my another account is performing well, right, both the accounts will slip to NPA. So going by that direction, right, I shall have to classify both the account as NPA. But in the same master circular, the direction is that central government guaranteed account need not be classified as NPA. Then what will happen? Suppose my 1 lakh rupee account slips to NPA in 24-25. Right? What will happen to my 20,000 rupees account? Banks are classifying the account as NPA. Right? But we should write in our report. Again, this is a value addition. That why this 20,000 rupee account is classified as NPA. It carries 0% risk weight. It is central government guaranteed account. The banks are asking that, sir, what is the harm in classifying the account if any account slips to NPA? There is no harm. But this is not in line with the directions of the regulator, that is Reserve Bank of India. That is my value addition again. And this time this is my 24th lecture during this month, right? Pan India actually. But the thing is, my submission is that during this year, I had decided to speak extempore only and to give the whatever the experience I have come across, wherein we can add value. Definition is there everywhere. It is there in the book. It is there in the master circular. And all of us has passed the CA examination. And as we all know the how to read English. There is no Oxford English. That interpretation question is there. One more issue is about that in that relief package only, ideally we know restructure. If any account is restructured in general circumstances, first the account will slip to NPA upon the implementation of restructuring. Barabar? Now the point is, this is ideal, normal circumstances. But one time forbearance was given under that COVID relief package that any account, any eligible account can be restructured without classifying the account as NPA. One time forbearance was given in that COVID package only. Okay, fine. It is given. Now the point is that 24 months moratorium is given. Up to 24 months moratorium is given. Problem when the problem will start? Problem will start when the repayment will start. So if my particular account of 1 lakh rupee is restructured on the basis of my request, right? And my account is not classified because that one-time forbearance was there at that time. And I am given 24 months moratorium, hypothetically. Now my repayment starts. And then now if the problem starts, what will happen? If it breach that restructured account, that particular restructured account slips to NPA, bank will classify on the breach of 90 days, if it is overdue by 90 days. But date of NPA is not this one. In case of restructured account, if that restructured account is not meeting that obligation as per the restructuring package, the farthest date considering the restructuring was not implemented. Farthest date. So in this 1 lakh rupee account, the date of NPA should not be for 24, 25 or 23, 24. Considering that the account was not restructured, my date of NPA will be somewhere in 21 or 22. As per the original sanction term, my obligation starts. So instead of classifying the account as substandard, it will straight away go to doubtful 3, doubtful 2, whatever the aging is. So this is again a value addition. So meaning thereby, there is no point that we go with the preconceived notion that we are the concurrent auditor or the stock auditor like that. हम लोग क्या फिर एक मामले में उलझ जाते हैं कि भाई इसका स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट में ये प्रॉब्लम है एंड स्टॉक ऑडिटर हैज गिवन दिस ऑब्जेक्शन. राइट, योर ऑब्जर्वेशन इज करेक्ट, but at the same time this type of issues are there, right? We all know what happened with this private sector bank just very recently, right? In every platform I have spoken like this, that if the my opinion is that if regulator decides that certain branches on sampling basis of a private sector bank should be under the statutory audit, branches, not bank, branches, right? Dekho, it's a Pandora's box, right? Third most important is any account is taken over from the other bank. If you come across any account which is taken over from other banks, now what banks are doing? That I am enjoying my housing loan finance from Axis Bank, and I am repaying my obligations, whatever it is for the sanction terms. ICICI will approach me, or I will approach ICICI for that matter, or Bank of Baroda, or for any other public sector bank for taken over. That, sir, I need the top-up loan. Top-up loan is a very, very big problem, right? Some day back only I saw one account. Outstanding with the existing bank was 55 lakh. Another bank took over that account from the existing bank and paid that 55 lakhs to the original bank. And then they give top-up loan of 1 crore rupee. Right? The top-up loan is a big problem. We should look at the, and second most importantly, I forgot actually, I should have discussed little earlier. The thing is that we are under that myth that I shall have to verify each and every account of the bank branch I am doing. Because with this new LFAR regime since 2020, right, we have to write a first question related to advances, number of accounts verified and percentage of advances. So we are under that myth that if I will not verify substantial chunk of the advances, right, it will not be considered that I have done my duty diligently. Right, and suppose I am saying, sir, I am allotted P segment branch wherein the ticket size is not more than 2-3 lakhs of rupees, and number of accounts runs into 1,000 maybe. Right, so is it possible for me to verify personal P segment branch in totality? My obligation is, as per the LFAR, that any account having the exposure of more than 10 crore rupees should be your sample. Then we don't have any other option left, right? And second, that if the exposure in any account is more than 10% of the total advance of the branch, suppose I am allotted 50 crore branch, and in one account the exposure is 5 crore, right? Then I am obliged to take that as my sample. Rest of the cases, it is left to our professional judgment to decide how much quantum you want to verify. This time I am allotted one branch which is in today evening only. I am going somewhere in Karnataka, right? Wherein the exposure is total exposure of the branch or total business of the branch advances. It is 1700 crore rupees. Barabar? But this is the finance to the self-help group. You know what is self-help group? No. Sakhi Mandal. In rural area. This is the government of India initiative. That for inclusion of the women in the interior or the rural area also to the banking system. Financial literacy. Right? It is the ticket size is not more than 20 lakhs per self-help group. But number of account in that branch is 58,000. Is it possible for me to verify 58,000 account in 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 days time? पूरा साल बैठू तो भी नहीं देख सकते. Right? So, but the point here is we are writing. Every time in April I got the formal, we always some query is there that sir, how much percentage component should we verify? It's selection of sample is also an art. 10 crore and 10%, that is mandatory. We don't have any choice. But how I will verify? We all know that's because of the introduction of one more mechanism of early warning signal by Reserve Bank of India. Now the SMA reporting is mandatory. Special mention account. अगर थोड़ा थोड़ा तबीयत खराब रहता है, then up to 89 days account को किस तरह से डायग्नाइज करके उनको प्रॉपर ट्रीटमेंट दी जाए, मीनिंग देयर बाय रिकवरी एफर्ट्स किए जाए. इन केस ऑफ टर्म लोन there are 3 SMA. In case of term loan, SMA 0, SMA 1, SMA 2. SMA 0 is if my account remains overdue for 1 day in case of term loan. 1 day, my account will appear in the SMA 0. Up to 30 days, it is 30 days of irregularity, it is in SMA 0. From 31 to 60 days, it is SMA 1. From 61 to 89 days, it is SMA 2. SMA 2 means ventilator. And on 89th day, if the irregularities are not regularized, right, death warrant will have to be issued. Simple, NPA. We don't have any choice. And second thing, with these automation, again, one more directives by the Reserve Bank of India for automation of compliance of IRAC norms. There should not be any manual intervention. It is mandatory. Now it is settled. Central statutory auditors have certified that everything IRAC norms is automated only. I have my own objection that if everything is settled and everything is automized for compliance of IRAC norms, then why MOC is there? If in particular branch which I am verifying, if I make an opinion that this account should have been classified as NPA, right? तो उसको कैसे बोल सकते हैं कि automated है? There is one question in the LFAR that whether the bank is complying with the directives for so far as the automation is concerned, blah blah ऐसा कुछ है. And we are writing yes. And LFAR is nothing but the copy paste. Yes, no, those all good days. 3CD में जो करते थे. Right? Ghosh Jilani committee. Yesterday only in one of the webinar, Amarjit Chopra sir was there. And I was also one of the panelists. Ghosh Jilani committee, I'm moving a little bit out of the subject actually. We are writing whatever it is written in 23, 24. I am also doing the same thing. It is redundant now. So question is not about that. Question is about knowing the business. Question is about the interpretation of the things. Right? What is restructuring? Restructuring is nothing in the simplest definition. It is nothing, in my considered opinion, actually, any change in the sanction terms during the tenure of the loan is nothing but a restructuring. Any change. I am sanctioned 1 lakh rupee case credit limit and my interest rate is based on the base rate or external benchmark lending rate of the bank plus spread, meaning thereby 5.5% is the base rate of the bank plus 3.5%, that is my interest. Effective rate is 9%. And during the tenure of the loan, that is, this case credit is for 1 year, generally, it's for 1 year. If I request the bank, and this is the interest war actually in industry per se, that sir, Kotak Mahindra Bank is offering me 7 or 8.5%. And if on the basis of my request or bank reduce that spread, that is a restructuring. During the tenure, yes, at the time of renewal, right, I can request and bank can consider also. That is a point. So again, that whatever sample I select, I should be so clear that starting from what I am doing actually, my experience of 28 years, what I am doing, I will take one example, one simple borrower account. But I will start from appraisal A to Z, means starting from appraisal to sanctioning, then disbursement, then documentation, then repayment, then recovery, then health. I'll check each and everything, but will restrict my sample size to a certain number. And by writing that I have checked 90% of the advances of the branch, as a branch auditor, I am taking that responsibility. Suppose any divergence is found in that account, right? Suppose I am the central auditor and you have done the branch audit, right? I will write that this branch was under the audit and it is being done by the branch auditor. And in branch auditor's report, if it is mentioned that I have verified all these accounts, right? We are taking responsibility unnecessarily. In case of agriculture branch, is it possible to verify each and every account, KCC, whatever it is? And for 24-25, the area of concern even for the regulator is, one is the retail loan. After the collapse of the big corporate houses, right, all the banks are in a race for the retail finance. For that matter, even the government is now, means our economy is moving from, it has already moved rather, from saving economy to spending economy. Right? And government is also encouraging it. New tax regime is that only. So the point here is that all the banks are in a race for the retail finance. That portfolio is now becoming Titanic. It is now entering the danger zone. Reserve Bank has a grave concern for this. Second issue is about the exposure in gold loan portfolio. Left, right, center, everywhere the gold loan portfolio is there. Reserve Bank is very, very concerned about the gold loan portfolio because it is becoming like KCC in old days. When KCC is due for the renew, right, the two voucher will be there same day, credit 10,000 and debit 10,000. So Reserve Bank's concern is that it is entering again a danger zone. So that is expected of us. That if any such type of advances or exposure are there in the branch which we are doing, this is very, very important to look into it and to have our opinion. Reserve Bank has come up with the latest directives for the gold loan, considering the problem in the gold loans portfolio. In 30th September 2024, we are guided by that. This is the requirement and this is the expectation from us. Right? But what we are doing, that we are, generally I used to say, एक मिनट, मैं ये समझता हूं कि ये ब्रांच ऑडिट जो है ना वो, if as if that we have given any property on lease, till the time tenant is paying me the lease rent, I will not look at the property. But when the tenant will give me the notice that sir, I am vacating in 2 months' time, will immediately go for search of the new tenant. और एक बार मुझे ब्रांच ऑडिट मिल गई, I know that 4 साल तक यही ब्रांच बैंक मिलेगी. And at the end of the 4th month, 4th year, राइट हम स्टार्ट कर देंगे कि दूसरी कौन सी बैंक में हम स्टेचुटरी ऑडिट ले सकते हैं. And since this is as at the cost of repetition, okay, we are not keeping ourselves updated. Lots and lots of areas are there. So far as the now again, interpretation is very, very important. Interpretation is expected of us. And if we are clear so far as the concept is concerned, right, then there will be value addition. We'll give you another example that we all know that if I have availed, for example, 1 crore rupees housing loan in the nature of term loan or case credit, whatever it is, overdraft. And my obligation is to pay 1 lakh rupee EMI for every month, right? For simplicity, I'm giving this example. Point is that at the end of 4th month or 5th month, I paid 20 lakhs of rupees additional over and above the EMI. Now the problem is that is fine, but is as a borrower, if I pay part prepayment, what is the motive? To reduce my interest burden. So instead of 1 crore, now my interest will be on 80 lakhs of rupees. That is the motive. Now again, the point is that if I don't pay another 3 months EMI, right? System is not classifying the account as NPA in banking sector. Their argument or their logic is that, sir, this is advance received and it will be, since my outstanding is less than the theoretical balance, that what should have been as on this date. Which is my argument is, and in my considered view, right, my obligation is why I am paying extra money or advance installments or advance this thing to reduce my interest burden. So my obligation is that I shall have to request the bank to readjust my remaining EMIs, keeping the same tenure same. That is the obligation of the borrower. And second is that there is no question of any this thing request, because if there is no balance, EMI lene ka to sawal nahi hai. My tenure will get automatically reduced. That will get automatically reduced. Now the point is that banks are not considering. Yesterday only I have one example. Yesterday only, that 3 crore was the loan against the property. The EMI was for 3 lakhs or 3 lakhs per month. At the end of some 12 months or so, the borrower paid 90 lakhs of rupees advance. Fine. That somewhere in June 24. Since June, he has not paid a single penny till 31st March 25. No interest, no installment, and no EMI rather. Right? Every month the interest is debited. And there is no credit in it's a term loan. The point is that the bank is arguing that since, sir, my theoretical balance, my outstanding is less than the theoretical balance, right? मैं नहीं जानता what is theoretical balance. I am of 100% of the opinion that it is the obligation of the borrower, right? And second thing, State Bank, when I was the central auditor to State Bank, their argument was that, sir, this we are considering as principal received in advance. Then what about the interest? First, I don't agree with this, that this is principal received in advance. And what about the interest part of it? Sorry. Now, but then in that case, sir, that submission is, I gave MOC, sir, that is fine. But the point here is that they are arguing that since my outstanding is less than the theo balance, वो एक ही बात को पकड़ के बैठते हैं. I will go by the system. अरे system में तो garbage in garbage out भी होता है ना. It's up to us. Now the point is, my second question was that from where this money came. From the description, I came to know the transfer from this account. I thought this must be his saving or current account. Then मैं saving account का statement लाओ for this particular day. So he took it for entire year. 2,000 rupees is the balance. That again raised the doubt in my mind that from where he got the money. Then I inquired in detail, though the amount considering the branch size is small, right? But since this was the case, I inquired in detail. Somebody on his behalf has paid to this. This is already, it has already entered the danger zone. अब पहले ये देखो कि प्रॉपर्टी बेच तो नहीं दिया. I'm explaining this is happening with me, sir. As yesterday only I saw this case. Before I forget, actually, one thought came in my mind is about the selection of sample. I would urge all the members and I would request that you consider yourself lucky if the branch which is allotted to you was under the RABIA. You know RABIA, that is risk-based internal audit. Somewhere the terminology is risk-focused internal audit. If it is covered under that RABIA is carried out by that is internal inspection, by the internal inspection department. They are independent of operation, right? They are reporting directly to the audit committee through their appropriate channel. So the point is, again, one classic example is about that you feel yourself lucky. Why? Because that if the branch is under the RABIA or RAFIA audit, right? And if you read the observation of the inspector, RABIA officer actually, right, we will find out everything which is relevant for this year. All, because the scope is so wide, starting from the infrastructure to customer satisfaction, everything is there. And even in that case, also the executive summary is of utmost importance, wherein the critical remarks are there. In 2021, I was allotted some branch of the public sector bank somewhere, right? That was Sunday. Sunday we went to the branch. Then the report was there on the table. I told my team member that okay, tera kaam ho gaya, because we'll get all the material from this RABIA reporting. So point is that I was just having a look. We were in the absolutely casually. And when manager came, I told him that, sir, it seems this account is a health of this account has deteriorated. In my opinion, this should have been on the basis of this observation. This should have been classified as NPA. Sir, trust me, within no time on Sunday, I got a call from higher authority. Okay, sir, मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं ये 2 अकाउंट छोड़ दो. मैंने कहा मैंने तो अकाउंट एक ही निकाला था, तो दूसरा पहले नाम दे दो. मैंने कहा सर कौन सा दो, दूसरा भी पता तो चल जाए क्या है, राइट? मैंने कहा सर ओके. फोन में I told him that instant I would like to resign as an auditor. And trust me, I'm not exaggerating. Immediately, without no time, we resigned. Now there is a mechanism for resignation of auditor also. The bank will have to submit that details to the Reserve Bank. That after accepting why the auditor has declined to audit, then I write them a letter that one of my colleague is diagnosed with the COVID. I was lucky that time, right? And under the circumstances, it is not possible for me to depute new team. ऐसा करके resign कर दिया. Because the point here is compromising with our independence is not at all acceptable, not at all desirable. As we all know, we are members, we are family. We all know the value of ethics actually, right? And cooperation, non-cooperation, वो सब कुछ तो regular course में होता ही है. And because I have the experience of branch audit as well as the central audit also. If as a branch auditor, if I am allotted any branch, उसके पास एक PC रहेगा, उसके पास बैठने के लिए 2 चेयर रहेगी. उसके पास बैठने के लिए 2 चेयर भी नहीं होगी, राइट? और रिमोट ब्रांच है तो हमको भी ऐसा लगे कि कितना जल्दी खत्म करेंगे, रात को कहाँ रुकेंगे, राइट? So the point is, everything is there. But ultimately, when we have accepted it, right, we have to do our duty diligently. और सेंट्रल ऑडिट में जाओ तो आपको ऐसा लगे एज इफ यू आर द प्राइम मिनिस्टर, तो रेड कारपेट वेलकम, क्वेश्चनेट और ये सब आप देखो सब। तो फिर मैं बोलता हूँ सर इसको रहने दो, इन लाइटर सेंस समवेयर ऑलवेज आई से, तो ज्यादा क्वेश्चनेट खाने से कॉन्स्टिपेशन होता है और बैंक का खाने से 100% होता है। तो मैं पहले से बाहर रखता हूँ कि भाई मैं घर पे ये नहीं खाता हूँ, तो ये बाहर ही रखने दे, नहीं आना इधर। But considering the time, I hope I have come up to your expectation. But any question is there, we'll definitely will take it in some time. But once again, thank you so much, sir, for inviting me today, and thank you for the present here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Any question? Please.
Sir, you are basically issue that the branch auditor. Is a branch auditor. In the profession, we are not giving adequate value. One issue, every institute also we need to consider.
As your appointment, when you are giving an appointment later on 31st March, and you expect that within 10 days you will review, why can't you do a same day year before? Why can't you give an appointment on 31st March and whole year is available to your statutory auditor to visit the branch, review the work, then definitely you can give a value addition. See, any corporate, we are aware on 1st of April that they are audited. And you have a whole year to do the justice to the work. If we issue a vendor, definitely all members will give more value addition. I don't know how come as an institute we are not able to prevail on the RBI to give the appointment 1 year prior.
Sir, my view, not as a speaker or anything, but my view as a member like you only is that as we all know the profession in which we are most unwanted guest to any of the host, right? That way, that is there. Second issue is, I'm not expecting 1 year before. I am expecting at least on 15th of March. Right? At least 15th of March is sufficient. You see, now the banks are in a race. Number one, that we all know that the opportunity is shrinking. I don't know, any day it will go. Right? One of the central council member, when I was interacting with him informally, he is a very thorough professional. And sir, on the contrary, suo moto we should say to Reserve Bank of India that you stop this bank branch audit. Right? A day before yesterday only, some young lady chartered accountant who has just completed her visa, she approached me that, sir, how to empanel for me? Can you please guide me how to empanel for? Madam, my request to you would be, don't venture into this sea. Actually, don't go with this. Instead, you focus on the other area to the private clients. It will give more revenue, more satisfaction to you. And here the point is, in our this time only, sir, the meeting with the Reserve Bank of India, which was arranged by the PD committee of our institute, right? We raised the issue. I am not raising this ek saal pehle de do. I expect, number one, more transparency so far as the allotment of bank branch audit is concerned. Since this is even the allotment is in the hands of the management, no, we are compromising with our independence. You see, there is a humongous pressure on the auditors, not only to the branch auditors. Central auditor have the other type of pressures. Right? Now, when I was the SBI auditor, while addressing to the branch managers, right, the CFO of the circle, right, that, sir, I would like to, with pleasant, I would like to submit that since last 5 years, this zone has no MOC, history of no MOC. And I am sure that this year also they will continue to do so. So, ek side branch manager or ek side auditors. So when I started deliberating, the first line was that, sir, the tone is set for the day and the message is loud and clear. I don't have to submit anything at all. There are two sides of the coin, no sir. So the one side, the myth is that if I don't check this much business, right, or if I don't give any MOC, right, I have not done my duty diligently. It will look like that. It's a myth. Other side, since the management is giving the appointment to the branch auditor and the central auditor. In case of public sector banks or a public sector undertaking, the appointment is through C&AG only, sir. A separate authority is there. And secondly, in my argument is that public sector undertaking also, the central government is the biggest shareholder, right? And here also the sir, that is fine. Branch it is not possible. For bank it is possible. ब्रांच पूरे साल ऑडिटर बैठा रहेगा तो बेचारे को 5 तो वो जगह रखनी पड़े. What is happening? Let us be very honest, sir. What is happening with the concurrent audit? What is the quality of the concurrent audit? Now tell me, sir. Let us introspect. We are right that way. Chalo, in statutory audit we have the pressure, timeliness, this, that, everything, right? Concurrent audit. The point is, in PD committee, I requested PD committee chairman Mangesh Kindre sir को मैंने बताया, मैंने sir एक request करो, this is the appropriate forum wherein the executive director of the Reserve Bank is there, president of our institute is there, vice president is also there. So when all the stalwarts are there, this is the right platform to raise our voice for the transparency at least. किस तरह से branch appointment होते हैं, we should not discuss. We all know. We should not, better not to discuss, right? The only point here is, that's the reason that why we are compromising with our independence. डर लगता है, branch manager will threaten me, or the higher authority will threaten. Why? It is better. We should never say yes when we want to say no. Why? And let us agree to disagree on any of the aspect. It's better, yeah. We should leave that branch. We should leave that branch. And sir, since my articleship days, see, I am associated with the firm like Manuba and Shah, and the Science company, we all seniors must be knowing P and Shah, sir, right? So we are trained under him, right? So there is no question, sir, compromise karo. There is no question at all. And what my expectation as a member is, you see, this time I am a central auditor. I am there for 3 years with the bank. But for the benefit, I will be the bank branch auditor the other day, right? For 5 years, I was merely a branch auditor, right? But I expect that there has to be the transparency to the core so far as the appointment is concerned. फिर देखो सर, फॉरगेट 1 साल नहीं चाहिए हमको, ब्रांच में क्या करना है 1 साल बैठ के, उतना फी तो देते नहीं. Why to waste our time there? And we are doing statutory auditing, right? But the point is, anything, but not at the cost of independence. Simple. That's from my side, sir. Okay.
Thinking about that, the session was more on informative, but practical approach, and restore we have made our value addition in knowledge, and for purpose of things, I call upon our past convener, Seema Mehta, to give a promotion.
Thank you, Kailashji, for giving me the opportunity for the vote of thanks for the today's speaker. His lecture started late actually due to our AGM, and rather than going through the PPT, he spoke extempore. It is very relatable and it is very much members are really benefited, and we are very fortunate to hear your thoughts also. He explained IRC norms with practical aspects. He explained the various products and how to handle the same while reporting during the bank audit. I request all the members to carry a loud sound of thank you. We will break for 15 minutes and the next speaker is already here. So please gather as early as possible.